Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope more people will come in to listen to the GMs, because at the end of the day, whichever area of business you are in, the audience, you have the end user is this gentleman who are sitting on the stage. They are the decision makers. They are the ones who actually consume. They are the consumers. They are the ones who actually honestly take a call on what to buy, what to purchase, what to adopt, and which is a concept to actually propagate and things like that. So therefore, it's very important that all of us engage ourselves and listen to them, and also perhaps ask some questions at the end of the session. I think India, let's talk about our country, India. We are slated to become the third largest economy in the world. We're right now the fifth largest economy in the world. But what is driving Indian economy? Do you all realize what is driving Indian economy? It is the soft power. We are not a manufacturing country, therefore that is obviously taken over by China. So what is really driving our economy is the new economy. And the new economy is being driven by the services sector. And the services sector is nothing but the technology, IT sector. So therefore, we are assembling today, 24 January 24, fully aware that there is no escaping the fact. In fact, let me put it this way, that we have to accept that technology is actually going to be playing a very important role in our hotels, right? So we are going to discuss how technology is going to play an integral part in the guest experiences, in the hotel operations, in the investor's mind, the owner's mind, as well as the operator's mind. There's no way in which artificial intelligence or automation or even smart millennials who are now going to be the hotel staff, they're all of a different generation, completely different generation. I belong to a very different generation, so therefore I have to accommodate and stay, if you want to stay relevant, if all of us want to stay relevant and be in demand as a professional, then we need to embrace technology. There is no question. And it can be demystified. We can demystify too. How we can demystify technology? You don't necessarily have to be an IT specialist. You don't have to be a technology specialist. All you have to be is, understand real and appreciate it. Appreciate the technology. Have it in your mindset that no longer can a hotel operate with 1:2.5 ratio. In India, I went to Switzerland. I was sent to Switzerland by the Taj Group long ago in 1988, and I was trained in right on top of Mount Alps in Zermatt. If you know, it's a famous luxury ski resort, and there was a group called the Seiler Group. The Seiler Group had 40, 50, 100 kind of hotels cluster, and I was the shadow GM. The ratio at that time was 1:0.5 in Switzerland in 1988, and my hotel in Taj, when I was sent for, our ratio was 1:3. So I said, how are you operating? And I learned there how they operate. See, it's a whole ecosystem. You cannot operate just because the general manager started to reduce the staff from 300 to 100, which is what the management expects now these people to do. No, it doesn't work like that. It's not magic. It's a whole ecosystem. And the whole ecosystem includes the customer, the consumer. So even the guest has to understand that there will be only, he has to play a role. If he wants to experience the hotel, if he wants to experience a great meal, then he has a role to play. For instance, if I want to go to a restaurant in one of the hotels and I know the menu, I have it at home. And I tell over the phone, I order, hey, listen, I'm coming at 9 o'clock and this is the food that the four of us want, me and my wife and my daughters. And I'm coming there at 9, I'm going to have a drink, so I'll have 9:15, I want the dinner to be served. I can tell you, even today, you experiment this, they will be able to serve you at 9:15. But who knows? No customer knows. They think they're all Maharajas. So they walk in, they expect everything magic to happen. It doesn't happen anymore. So the new millennials know it. They are very highly more educated, highly involved in what every dish looks. They can just look at the Google and find out what they're going to order. And they can call the chef and tell him, listen, are you sure that you have included this recipe, these ingredients? You know, so that's the way they're challenging the chef. They're challenging the restaurant manager. They're challenging, those are the millionaires in India, right? So that's the environment in which all of you are going to produce your goods, your equipments and your services and everything, which is what these gentlemen will now share with you. So I will start without much ado. What are we going to discuss? We are going to discuss how far is AI and automation. There's a distinction. AI is actually most of a concept, a software, right? Whereas automation is exactly what the previous session discussed. You know, intelligent machines, equipments, smart equipments. They have AI, automation, right? Everything that camera. Today, you know, CCTV cameras are intelligent. You know, what is the difference between CCTV camera and your eyes, a human eye? What's the one distinction between a CCTV camera and a human eye? Can any one of us fuse tell me in a second? Just think, a human eye witnessing a murder and a camera. What is the difference? Huh? No, you will immediately alert the police. You will catch the guy, no. That has happened with CCTV camera. But today, there is a company in India that has developed, you know, camera that can immediately alert the cops and actually trace the victim, the culprit, and getting, so they have become more intelligent, right? Any monkey business that's happening in a hotel, you know, some staff is taking out something, they can track it. They can actually record it, right? So when you review it 24 hours, see, otherwise actually the CCTV as a investment, you ask them, is a wasteful investment because everything is post-mortem, everything is lagged, and nothing really happens except the security piling up 5-page report saying that, sir, this is the report, this is what happened, but the thief has gone. The culprit is gone and the damage is done. So that is where the transformation is happening. So in everything there is what is called proactive. You could be lagged, you could be ahead of the situation. That's what they're going to talk about in smart equipment. Like exactly how he said. See, today a washing machine, a plate washing machine, or a concrete oven actually can function on its own. It doesn't necessarily require a log book from an engineering department. It actually alerts itself. What I wanted to ask them, the question is, can you also make sure that it prevents any employee from short-circuiting its processes? Like for example, you were saying, no, there are 3 plates being put in the rack and the machine is started. It happens with a dishwashing person, right? He's fatigued, so he wants to start it off. The machine says, hello, excuse me sir, I will not start. I will start only after you put out the 5 plates. It could be a nice lady's voice. You say, oh, right, so I'll do that. So that's how what is called regulating human behavior. So machines are going to regulate human behavior. So the moment, and that's why we need supervisors, no? Why do we need managers, supervisors, whole lot of people around the whole hotel, just to ensure that the other person works the way he's supposed to work, or she's supposed to work. That is gone. There is no more supervisory level, there is no more intermediary level. The organization is going to get flat. When I went to South Korea just about a month ago, because I'm consulting a South Korean hospitality group coming into India, I landed in Seoul and I was taken instead of the city Seoul hotel 400 kilometers away in flat 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. And then I went there, the gentleman who opened my door and the front office manager was driving the car, right? And he said, sir, and he was wearing gloves and standing at the thing. And I'm used to the Taj Bombay, where it will be always a doormat, no? So he cautioned me. He said, sir, that's a GM, no? The GM is standing there. He's the guy who's going to open your door. Because they operated 1:0.5. A GRE, a guest relations executive in Seoul, costs 1.5 lakh Indian rupees. So they don't want it. So that is the kind of thing we are going to come fast. Doesn't matter if we are 1 billion or 500 million. As far as the business people are concerned, it doesn't matter at all. They are not charity. They want only smart people. They want to be otherwise they will not be globally competitive. They'll wrap up their business. So there's a big disconnect between the unemployment and social causes that are happening in the country to the compulsion that these GMs have in maintaining from 1:2 ratio to 1:0.5 ratio. So we will find out how they do it. And that's it from me as an introduction. Then of course we have a kitchen equipment discussion also. So I'll start with the first question, if you don't mind. We'll start with the gentleman who actually came in the first. Yeah, thank you. So tech in hospitality. Let's have a round of introductory messages. I said it, okay? So you go ahead. Tech in hospitality.
Okay, good evening everyone.
That,
I'm Vishal Baid and I represent Royal Hometel Suites, a Sarovar hotel. We are put up in Datta. Thank you World of Hospitality, Mr. Mohankumar, for having us here. Hotel industry is constantly evolving and artificial intelligence is playing a very pivotal and a significant role in shaping up the entire hospitality landscape. We must not forget that we are into the AI and automation era. Though we are at a very nascent stage, machine learning stage, and I believe that we have just touched the tip of the iceberg at this moment. There is a lot of other things which would happen, certainly. To give you a few examples, post-artificial intelligence coming into the hotels, things have changed overnight. The customer reviews which the front desk manager or the general manager used to respond to, whether it was a negative or a positive one, now the system automates and you don't have, means either general manager or the front desk manager does not need to respond. It's an automated system, thus thereby saving a manpower cost. There are many examples. One more example I would like to put it up. In room service trolleys, room service trays, what we have, it is infrared and Bluetooth enabled. So now in the corridors, when the guests leave off their trays for clearance, there is an auto alert which goes to the room service and people come for clearance. So these are some of the practices which many of the hotels are adopting. It's a one-time investment. We have to understand artificial intelligence will come at cost. But that's for sure that once it comes, it is going to automate the mundane daily task, what we are facing day in and out. Also, one more example would be, this is a very fantastic example, this has been adopted by many hotel chains. One is the smart room management. Now, supposedly anybody comes to a room. Earlier, there was a master switch which used to switch off or switch on all the lights. But now, your rooms, your PMS, your room interface has been interfaced with Alexa. So as soon as you come into the room, you don't even need to switch on one button. And you tell Alexa, set my room temperature at 22. And it automatically sets at 22. The guest says to Alexa, Alexa, please put down my curtains. And it happens instantly. Alexa is given there are many examples which I would say that artificial intelligence and automation, we just do not need artificial intelligence and automation to be competitive and as to stay ahead of the competition.
Juhu. Thank you everyone for inviting me out here. It's a great topic, automation and AI. And specifically with ChatGPT coming, now everybody knows about AI, right? Novotel is a leading brand, Accor is a leading brand, and of course with 60 plus hotels in India, it's actually doing very well. And if you look at a lot of sustainability shaped items, what we are doing is we are trying to get sustainability into the company in India, specifically by removing plastic. The elevator can be operated by your mobile key card, and your room can be opened by your mobile too. So the automation, the AI is already happening out here, and there are certain hotels in India which are transforming towards that. However, there is not mass out there right now, and we hope that the mass comes soon.
Thank you. Quickly, yeah, Subhadeep, sorry, Arindam, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. My name is Arindam.
He's the general manager of the Fern.
I'm the general manager of the Fern Goregaon, part of the Fern group in India. Fern has 100 plus hotels now in India and more than 6,000 plus rooms in all over India. So we are, the best part of it where I mean, thank you very much for all of you to invite me for this prestigious occasion. Great honor to share my thoughts on that. Since Fern is a eco-friendly hotel and we believe in the sustainability of a lot of products in the market, this AI things is going to be very interesting for us, and some of the hotels has already started looking into it very closely, and many of the hotels have started implementing it in all over India. As far as my hotel is concerned, since it's an owner-driven property, and every owner is different from one after another. So we started investing a lot of things on the AI, starting from the front office operation till back of the house management. So you talk about guest experiences, what Vishal has said, that once you check in without any hitch and you go to the room directly, use your mobile as an guest elevator card and check into the room directly. At the same time, as an eco-friendly hotel, we have invested in the efficient energy conservation in the hotel. As Sir rightly said, that we have CCTV cameras, which is security and safety for the hotel, which is AI powered and very sensitive and gives us an automated reply if you see anything suspicious happening all through the hotel and premises. Yes, we are looking forward and I will contribute to more once the discussions go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Arindam, yeah. Sorry.
So if you wanted to ask a question to him, please.
Subhadeep, yeah.
Yeah, hi, very good evening everyone, and thank you Mr. Mohankumar, friends here.
So Subhadeep actually is the general manager of Goldfinch Hotel, again a young brand and aspiring to actually get into pan-India presence. Yeah.
Yes, so sir reintroduced me. Yeah, so it's nice to see these days that we are getting into a lot of automation and AI as we speak, and my friends have already said about how it's helping the hotel industry. I'm totally with automation, but then I would always like to have a balance because when we talk about hotels, it's about more human touch. It's about the emotions of people, and I feel that in all this automation we should not lose out on the crucial aspect of that human touch and emotions. We have to keep a balance, and when I talk about automation in 2009, when I was working with SIG, we came up with this hotel in Pune, and we had come up with this iPod, and it could actually control the lighting, control the curtains, also the entertainment. What I want to speak about, why I'm referring to that, because it was a fantastic offering to the guest, but how many guests knew how to operate it? You know, so it's not only about bringing automation, it's also about educating the end users as to how it's going to affect their experience, and that is something which is a must if we try to bring in automation. We have to also look at training our staff, our team to integrate this automation into the service, into the services that we provide. So there is a training aspect which needs to be brought in. Yes, as my friend said, that automation would obviously help in bringing down the staff to room ratio. I'm totally with it, but then we should not be overzealous at times. And again, I talk about balance. So maybe we can look at balancing it out and have people to give that personalized experiences to the guest, because AI might at times would not give you the flexibility that a human can give, understanding the emotions of the guest.
All right. Thank you. That was very insightful. So we'll now get into the depth of things, okay? We'll go into a lot more specific, and maybe the audience also can kind of come out with, in case you want to challenge them, think of some specific instance and ask us, okay, what about that? For example, what is the definition of AI and automation in the hospitality environment? I'll tell you. Anything that is, and it's good for all of you who are in the manufacturing or procurement business to know this, anything that is replicable, manual, and scalable, three things. Manual, replicable, and scalable can be replaced. Human being can be replaced and a machine can do it, right? The only thing the machine does not have is directive intelligence. However, it can actually replicate, it can scale up, and it will never feel bored. There is no grandfather, pre-grandfathers dying, there is no sick leave, there is nothing. They'll keep on working 24/7, 365 days. Of course. So, that's where the huge area of opportunity for the industry and the alliance industry, the sector, to come together. See, you should know what are the pain points. What are their pain points? What are their felt needs? And try and fill in that gap. For example, kitchen stewarding. I'll give you an example, and I hope it's interesting. Kitchen stewarding, hitherto in the Indian context, are always people who are not gone, just sort of school dropouts, unskilled, semi-skilled labor. Correct? They are the ones who come on board on the kitchen stewarding. And I worked in the Taj Mahal, Mumbai in 1974. I passed out from college. And I'm talking those days, right? And they were doing it, replicating the same job all over again for 40 years. But what happens is, when they're young at the age of 20, their productivity is very high. They can actually clean maybe 100 plates. But as they keep growing into the organization, they don't get promoted. They still continue to be in kitchen stewarding, but they age, right? So as aging happens, what happens? Productivity comes down. But the productivity comes down, but the increments keep going up. The hotel actually is investing more money on the same person, right? And it's been going on for the last 40 years. Because we are so dependent on kitchen stewarding for a large banquet function. Without dishwashing boys there, you cannot clean up so many plates, take it from scullery, take it from the counter, put out the food, put it in the washing machine. This is where the challenge for all of you is R&D, research and development. Can we fill in this gap between, can a machine do the scullerying at the counter? Because my washing machine is already invented, correct? And the moment today the washing machines or they call the washing machines, right? The washing machines, right? They're wrong. It has different chambers, right? From steaming, temperature, all that has been explained. But there's still a gap. Who will put the plates onto the washing machine? Not the customers. Perhaps, yes, in Switzerland the customers actually put the plates on the washing machine. There's nobody, correct? But that is called co-education. That means you co-create with the customer. That's a new thing. You actually get the customer to actually also play a role. Come on, you want a great experience? You want this? Then do this. Like for example, in medicine you write on the label, for best effect, follow this procedure. If you don't follow this, you will not get well. So similarly, that concept is coming even in the services industry. The co-creating a customer is a famous book written by Professor Prahlad. It's happening in the automobile industry. So cars are now being customized to the size and heavy of the owner. So coming back to that, we will now ask questions like, the specific examples. Yeah, I'll just give you this whole thing. CapEx planning. We are getting to capital expenditure planning, which all these GMs have to do to submit to their corporate office, right? So while they're doing the CapEx planning, futuristic smart chip laden machines in all operating shop floor and frontline areas, correct? So, for example, you have the kitchen combi oven. Supposing one of these GMs have to order a kitchen combi oven, right? He has to justify. There is some in the capex statement. There is something called justification. He'll say, okay, how much does a capex combi oven cost today? These days, how much? 5 lakhs.
Starting from 5.
4-5 lakhs is not an easy amount for them to get sanctioned, right? So they will have to give a justification. If it's a replacement, that's another justification. What was the life cycle of the earlier, the existing equipment? How far did it run? A whole lot of things, right? And then comes, if it's a new, then justification. How is it going to benefit? What are the value addition and benefits that are going to come to the management, to the company, correct? So in that, how will they justify? They have to think of themselves. This is where you can all come and work with them and say, these are the features that we have designed in the combi oven that will actually, literally, for example, one, replace man hours. It will be more efficient. Therefore, then save energy. Third, quality-wise, it will be consistent. Fourth, it could actually be space-wise, it could actually save a lot of space. So, whatever options, whatever the optimization, that's the word, optimization of all the costs must be identified. The moment you do that and help educate and help this general manager's team to input that into the data that is going to the corporate office, because the decision for any purchase, procurement that is capex in nature is not necessarily taken at this level, it will be taken at the company level, if it's a large company, which is the case, it's all of them. So this is where we want to discuss, how do they cope up? So it could be, you can choose kitchen combi oven or a room's vacuum cleaner. Which one would you choose? A glass plate washer, a CCTV camera, a front desk night console or a computer hardware, a self-help bar. Do you know today, if you go to Singapore airport, I don't know how many of you have been there recently. I was there recently, and I saw in the lounge, business lounge, there was a bar, and there was nobody there. So I said, so I was waiting for someone to come, because I've come from India, so I thought there would be someone guys there. And I saw a couple of foreigners walking in, coolly taking a glass, pouring a glass of vodka, a peg of vodka, mixing it, and walking away. Then I said, okay, vodka is easy because it's in the bottle and you put it. Then I saw somebody else coming and going slightly towards the place where I was looking at, beer. So, and the beer is a self-help beer. I'm sure all of you would have seen it. You just put the glass goes like this, it tilts because it has to have the froth. It pours, and exactly the thing, it comes back. You have just take it and go. Correct? Of course, it's business lounge, so obviously it's free. But this can be propagated even in this thing. What happens next time? If supposing the customer has to be charged, that beer fellow will not come back. You have to put some coin, some money, something to operate. So that's where, so therefore, what has happened? It's a bar without bartenders. So that's the concept we are talking about. So can you give specific examples? 1 or 2 examples that would be useful for work.
Okay, before we speak about this, let me put the things into this perspective. Not all hotels can afford to have AI because of the cost that it brings along. Lean Lux model hotels will take time to get AI, but that's the way it will look forward for. So in my case, if I have been given to bring AI into my hotel, one would be definitely a robotic server, which would definitely make beds, housekeeping beds. It would go out of the way to talk to guests in a way and give amenities and supplies to guests. That is one way of looking at it. Definitely revenue management, which is a pure play demand supply. So everybody has a model in which higher the occupancy, higher your rates are, lower your lean dates, it is an automated system. It senses your competition rates and the rates what you have to send along is all automated, and the artificial intelligence helps in this. So this is some of the examples. So one more example which I would like to put it up is the data analytics, which is the new oil of the industry. How do you use all the data? That is, how wisely you use it for suggestive selling, for upselling, and customer behavior. Who has bought what in your last buying patterns? So these are some of the things which I would like to bring up in my CapEx plan. Thank you.
I'll go back to Vishal, so we are fair with the balance, yeah.
Great, wonderful topic. However, I have a different viewpoint out here and I just want to add to it.
Take your time.
So, in India, labor cost is for one person for the whole day or for the whole month. Now, AI can really benefit, can help the industry if the labor cost is hourly. And because I used to work out of India and we used to manage hourly, so if I have somebody working for me for 40 hours, I will make sure he or she leaves at 40 hours and I don't have to incur overtime. So when you are choosing a product, let's say an oven, a pizza oven, and the pizza oven flushes out 5 pizzas, you just need one chef to do that. Because then you are saving one whole person doing the same job again and again. But in India, the challenge we face is that we can't, we limit ourselves because we are not paid hourly out here. So that is something when it comes to the hardware piece of AI, we will struggle. That's my personal viewpoint out here. However, I agree with Vishal that if we look at restaurant revenue management or revenue management for rooms, AI can be a very big tool from a data analytics point of view, from suggesting what we should do, from RevPash, RevPAR point of view. That way it can help us out on how we run the show. So for me, if I have to spend money on AI at this point of time, will be definitely on better revenue management, because we have approximately 5 different reports which we look at, and we hire one director of revenue management and then a couple of revenue managers depending on the hotel size to analyze those reports. So if that can be, that AI can come into the play, then I can cut a job, but not from the operational point of view.
All right, then, thank you so much. I just want to pause there and challenge the both of you, talk about the front office, the rooms manager. By the way, incidentally, I hope all of you know that in hotel business, room business is the most profitable. And F&B of course comes in the second, but even F&B banquet obviously is the more profitable than the restaurants and the bar. And guess any idea what could be the percentage of flow through to the GOP if you do well in a very good hotel? I was actually heading the division, so I used to tell all my GMs that the next year's budget is about 90% flow through from the top to the bottom line in rooms, because it is possible. So, there are hotels in the world which are almost achieving 95% flow through for rooms. I'll tell you an example is the Taj Airport in Bangalore. It's one of the most successful hotels that have come up, which we thought will never do well because it's outside Bangalore, but Airport Hotel is doing 3 times occupancy in 24 hours. So it's almost kind of trebling its occupancy. So therefore, it's almost 95% flow through from the rooms. So in that kind of a situation, why I said that is to context that imagine if you actually bring in AI and automation into the rooms division, because one of the major costs in hotel operations is payroll. And today becoming rising, India means rising costs, urban costs going, employment costs are high. Therefore, it's almost becoming what, 20%, 30% to get good talent. So, and also it's unpredictable talent, right? So there's a whole lot of accompanying costs along with the payroll cost. Whereas the other manufacturing items are all coming down, like cars coming down, right? So the whole idea is in accommodations division, how can we minimize the staff? Because basically as against food and beverage to accommodations, the service intensity is not so heavy in rooms, except in housekeeping, correct? Or room service, that's it. So they are trying to see how can we replace human beings wherever it is possible in the accommodations division. That's where it is coming to. So I just want to context that to both of them before you actually, since anyone can start.
Yeah, I will take that, sir. So particularly, I would believe that AI is not to augmenting the manpower, but to support the manpower system of the hotel without disturbing the basic requirement what Indian hospitality is required. I do believe that we are looking forward for the AI and chatbot to work around the clock to answer and help the guest. But at the same time, I also believe that we should be in a situation that we should not lose the human touch. Yeah, of course, there are certain areas we can always look into it. So I would prefer to go for the back of the house where I think we can stronger the system if we put AI into the system. Like I have said before that in my CCTV cameras, like for particularly my hotel, I have changed the entire CCTV camera for last 1 year, and we have transformed it from the DVR to NVR. And now we have those sensor movement cameras where I can understand if something is happening throughout the premises. I particularly not required to be there, or my security manager has not to be there to understand and take a stroll all through the property every hour to understand. So we have implemented those kind of system where the smart button can go, they can tick on those buttons and the automatic replies and reports can be generated through my system. Secondly, in my engineering system, because every hotel, the backbone of the hotel is the engineering, the housekeeping. So engineering system, I would like to go for the capex where I want to introduce this kind of system where if suppose I have to bring something on board as in capex budget, and I would like to understand what would be the performance of that particular things after I invest a reasonable amount of money in that. So how would I understand? Because I do not have the manpower to understand the performance of
payback period. Payback period.
Yes, exactly, and the quality, maintenance, everything. So I would like to go for such a system like artificial intelligence to understand the behavior pattern of the machine, how it works without having any human interference, and probably it will take some pictures or images and it will do a data analysis and give me a result how it actually works. Suppose if I take a in-room vacuum cleaner where I do not need any human touch, but exactly what exactly that vacuum cleaner is doing for me. I mean, is it giving me the ROI what I have invested there, or is it going to be investing again on human manpower to supervise the room before I sell it to the guest? So to having the trust factor built inside the owner's mind or the general manager's mind, I think we should have a system where we can understand the performance of the machine, and that can only be done if we do a predictive analysis, analyzing the entire historical data of it, going to the market and find out what would be the quality management of it, how much ROI it can give us. And then I probably believe that will give a great benefit to a general manager to understand if I have invested something probably in a pizza oven or dishwasher machine or perhaps in a in-room vacuum cleaner. I do not need to engage my human manpower to supervise that. And then I think we will get the actual benefit of it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Arindam. It reminds me of what happened. I was trained in, I've been, fortunately thanks to the Taj, I've been sent many places. One of them was Four Seasons Hotel in Hong Kong. And everywhere you go, you always realize that the world is much ahead of you. Maybe last 5 years, India is catching up. So in this Four Seasons Hotel, when you were talking about the vacuum cleaner in the room, they went even further, deeper. That's the human brain. They went to say, in the first place, they asked, why should there be dust? Supposing there's no dust in the room, there is no need for a vacuum cleaner. Can you imagine? There was an R&D on that for that Four Seasons Hotel in Hong Kong. And they actually made a prototype room which is dust free. What is dust? Dust is in static electricity. So it sort of, slips onto your wall, your carpet, and all the things. So look at the way the human brain is now thinking. They're even thinking at the root cause. What is the resource? What is the source? And if the source is triggered off, then you don't need waste management. Just the same way you don't need dust proof. So I just want to say that's where the world is going.
Exactly.
How about telling your owner, hey, listen, tomorrow I don't need a vacuum cleaner if you can make a room that is dust free.
Exactly. And I believe that cross-training and employee engagement activities regarding to understanding the AI and chatbot will do a great benefit for us, because at the moment I don't think India is ready for the 100% AI intelligence. Yeah, if you can, intelligence can take over some kind of an action of the hotel, but not 100%.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a live example actually when we talk about the capex. So we were actually working with our capex, and we were looking at a couple of products. Yeah, a couple of products that were just coming. One of the products is like it's a scanner. So when you scan the passport, it actually generates the C form, itself, and you can send it just the PDF of it across. So it makes life a lot more easier, C-form, repetitive job. So that's one thing that we were working on. There was another thing which was... Yes.
C-form, as you all know, has to be sent to the police station. So
and it's a job which is manual. You need to actually look at the passport, fill in everything. So this is one machine which has come in which can scan it and generate the PDF and also send it across if your PMS supports it. So luckily we have a PMS which supports it to be sent across as an email to the police station and FRO office even. So that's something that we were working on. There was another thing which was in terms of reservations, wherein the availability of the rooms can, the channel manager picks up the availability from rooms directly, and you can set the pricing as per the market demand and your availability. So that's something that we were working on as well, so as you were saying, it will save some money for us as well in terms of revenue management. Apart from that, we were also looking at a mobile interface to work on our logs. So we are in a process of looking at if you're checking in, you can just have a QR code on your mobile phone, and you can scan it on the lock of the room, and the doors will open. So the whole system would be like when you send your reservation confirmation. With that, we will be asking for your your ID proof, which comes to the hotel, and then the QR code goes to you on your phone. So when you come in, you can directly go to the room, as you were suggesting, which Novotel already has. So we were working on that. So there's a couple of things that we were working on for this capex. Trying to get in AI for repetitive jobs, but still keeping the guest relation lady in the lobby, to give that human touch.
all right, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to something that would be interest to all of you. I think most of you are into the F&B, especially in the kitchen equipments and a whole lot of linen, housekeeping. So we'll talk about something about the kitchen. We have heard enough about how to design a modern smart kitchen. But we are now moving on to both the restaurant as well as the kitchen. See, there's a lot of major transformation that's going on in the restaurant. What really is happening is again co-creating with the customer. So there are no order takers and there are no receptionists in any of the restaurants now. The guests themselves actually are booking in and they're walking in, and those who are not booked in, you can take their mobile numbers, names and all that stuff, and they actually, the time they come in to time they order is recorded. So they should know they have taken 10 minutes, 15 minutes even to order, right? And then the time taken to order, when it's ordered, and to the time when actually the food comes onto the table is also now recorded. So there's a lot of information that is actually available to the guest. So he or she takes a very rational judgment whether the food is come on time, whether all the standards that are expected of a restaurant is fulfilled or not. Now in terms of the quality of food, right? There is a lot of health consciousness is coming in now, right? So I want to say about how's the new customer, the millennial customers in the F&B, your coffee shops, your bar, your restaurants, and your banquets. For instance, in banquets, I see today in this exhibition here, there are a whole lot of chafing dishes. Chafing dishes, have you seen? Every single kitchen equipment stall has chafing dishes of different varieties. Do you know that is actually going out of existence? Chafing dishes are actually going out of fashion. Because today,
the vendors will not be happy to hear that.
I know. That's why I'm giving them this thing. They have still 5 years to go. Because the world is moving on. Today, what is the kind of food that you want to eat? Of course, I'll ask the GM. The food that they want to eat is live. They want live kitchen. They want live food in the banquets. In their a la carte, they're going for a la carte in the kitchen, in the restaurant. And they want to ensure the food is cooked a la minute and served to them. That's why Chinese food is so popular. So on that, can you please go ahead, you can start.
I will start. Actually, very well segue to the point we were discussing. In banquets nowadays, you want live kitchen to be there, small portions, small plates out there. It helps reduce wastage. It helps get the customer the right food at the right temperature, the way he wants or she wants, with whatever condiments they want out there. So that's the way the majority of the hotels are moving on to. So yeah, chafing dishes will go away sooner or later, but they will. Even hot plates are coming up out there, so that is also.
Vishal, I want to also remind all of you, and all of you have attended banquet parties. What is one item in the buffet, wedding dinner, banquet dinner, that has completely changed to individual portions? I don't think we should answer it right now. Can any one of you tell me, already there is a change happened, and there's one particular section that is now all coming in individual portions. What is it? Dessert. Exactly.
Desserts.
So the trend is already there. And why dessert is already done, the Indian chefs have managed to get individual, because it's cold. So you can keep it in the freezer, they are coming in individual portions, it's also costly. And plus the fact that guest also says, I want only this much. I want to have it, but I only want to have this much.
That is absolutely right. The dessert is, everybody is diet conscious, but we still love our gulab jamuns, right? But having said that, the live kitchen is definitely moving towards, the restaurants are moving towards that. Restaurants moving towards pre-plating, small portions, as I said. Salads are one thing. Salads cold. Yeah, great point actually. The meal in the bowl is a great concept which has taken over a lot of restaurants. You probably have seen that in major malls nowadays, but five-star hotels and hotels in general are also moving towards that because it's a quick bite, you get through it and you move on. So yeah, definitely that's what's happening out there.
So the latest trend, what I believe, is not the robust food where you fill up the plate with everything. It's more about delicate food and how you want to have it. So it's all about experience. So guests want to have an experience even in the banquet. They don't want to fill up their plates with everything and then sit together and have. So they want to have an experience like they want to have it in a fine dining restaurant. So there we come with the concept of mono-portion bowls and then mono-portion salads, mono-portion desserts. And then you have a live counters, starting from chaat counter to Italian counter, Mexican or Lebanese, which is very popular nowadays. The benefit of this counters is that you can control cost, you can cut down your wastages. At the same time, you can give them a best quality food, which is getting made live in front of you, and then you can decide what condiments you want in your food. So it's like a customization of your food, and you are getting them made in front of you. That gives the guest more interesting and it also creates a kind of enthusiasm inside them that okay, I am getting my food ready. In restaurants, there's a concept coming up to make your own food. We have started off making your own salads or making your own sandwiches before, but now a lot of hotels are coming up and giving the opportunity to the guests to actually come to the kitchen and make their own food. So that is also an experience for millennials, or for a matter of fact, if my wife wants to go to the kitchen and make food in the hotel, she'll be most happy. So and we hoteliers know how to catch the nerve of the guest. So let's get the master of the house happy, and then you will get happy automatically. So there we get these concepts running, and I think it's very effectively going in this way.
Thank you, very well said. I think a lot of insights are coming from all these young GMs, which a lot of us didn't know about it. And talking about that kitchen, what you're talking about, kitchen is the heart of the hotel. Kitchen is where the everything about the standards on hygiene, efficiency, smartness, all that is judged by the kitchen. And for those consultants, like my friend, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Mr. Sikshani, you know, the hoteliers better make sure that kitchen is as design-centric as your presidential suite. It has now, because the guests are not going to come into the kitchen. They do not want to have the wall between the kitchen and the restaurant. They want to participate in the whole experience of seeing their food being cooked. So the kitchen equipment manufacturers also have to ensure that kitchen equipment, the combi oven, not only is functionally efficient, but also is a beauty. Looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, so taking the clue from what he was saying, but then I would just move ahead and say that even the banquetings have changed, you know, because when we put in the buffets, earlier days we used to have people running around in the kitchen getting and replenishing foods. We have moved on to combi ovens kept in the place where the buffet is made so that people don't run around. You have those freezers which are kept with individual portion salads, you know, just to be replenished so that, you know, it saves stuff and it gives that wow thing to the guest also wherein they can see that the food is getting replenished. Live counters, as what Vishal was saying, has become a part and parcel of our banqueting events, and everyone these days have got specific counters being made which are presentable and functional to give that experience to the guest. Yeah, long back actually, it was in 2007, I was part of a team from India for the ASEAN Summit happened in Philippines, Cebu. And you know, and I was working with the IDC at that point of time, so it was a 2,000 people function. In ITC, we used to have at least, we would have had 200 people to serve. And there we found that it was only 30 people who were required to serve. So we were shocked. 30 people, how they're going to manage. And ASEAN Summit, all the big people there, our then Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, was participating. They had this coffee dispensers, you know, placed, coffee machines placed, and none of the guests actually hesitated to walk down, pick up their coffee themselves, and it was 2007, so we were shocked, you know. In India, we will have a gamut of coffee in a beautiful tea coffee counter, and people will come and choose and say, even add this amount of sugar. So there are people who are helping themselves, and they were having those Alto-Shams and those refrigerators, and that's where we picked up, and we got it back when we came back to IDC Sonar, and we said that we also need this, and we saved some money into this stuff. So why I said this is because, you know, again, I'll come to this, that the guest also needs to participate when we talk about moving ahead. It cannot be one way that I would like to keep this coffee machine, vending machine there, which will give freshly brewed coffee to you. But then, sir, you also need to take that one step ahead and make it for yourself. Because if I try and keep one person there, then again, I'm not saving cost, and I'm increasing cost by keeping that coffee vending machine. So it has to be both ways, you know. So education of guests is also important.
I think we are almost coming to the conclusion of this session. There are lots of things to discuss. You know, it's a lifetime. I still I have finished, somebody corrected me that I'm not 40 years, 50 years in the industry. It is true. I passed out in 1974 and at the Bombay Teaching College, and we are celebrating our 50-year anniversary in February. So it's 50 years, and I thank you. And I still find there is so much more to learn because it's such evolution. You know, you have to really keep up. Now, I just want to touch upon one factor which we have not touched upon: the millennial smart staff. The smart kids who are actually going to work under these gentlemen, right? The girls and boys. In fact, girls are now opting out more for the hotel industry. Where? In the kitchen. Not in the front office or sales. In the kitchen. So there are so many lady executive chefs in the Indian hospitality industry. How is it relevant to those of you who are actually having stalls here? Make smart machines, because these are smart people. They understand technology, they understand mobile phone, their fingers are pretty deft. Therefore, you get everything with a chip and make sure those machines are working. I'm staying at the Ginger Hotel, which has just been inaugurated, and it's supposed to be espousing everything about smartness. So the first time in Ginger, there's a cafe and there's a full-fledged kitchen, which is not the concept of Ginger. So I went into all those area, massive kitchen, brand new equipments. A lot of them have come from imported, Germany and France and all that. But one thing about these machines, see, for example, grinding. There's a grinding machine, beautiful machine. But there's so much of palak and so many things stuck onto the grinder. Who's going to clean it? You know, so that is going to be another thing. Maybe you can do research. It's not only grinding. There is no person to clean. So how will the machine will clean itself? Okay? Yeah. So from that point of view, I think if you want to say quickly, 1 minute, about these challenges of having smart staff, multitasking, multifunctional, highly distracted, mobile savvy staff.
Well, the truth is that today's millennial is born and brought up on smartphone, and we can't take that away. And that's a challenge. To be very honest with you, as my colleague said, that we need to train the guest and we need to train the newer generation also. I give this example of a metro. You know, metro is a generational change. In Delhi, metro came 30 years back, and the kids prefer to travel by metro even if they're going out to a mall. But the generation which is in their 40s or 45, they want to use the car because they're not used to the metro safety and stuff. Same thing goes with hospitality when it comes to AI or making your own coffee. It is going to be a generational change. We need to teach the customer, whether it is in Mumbai or in Ratnagiri, you know, smaller city or bigger city, we have to teach the customer so they get used to it. That's number one. And then we have to educate the owner to build and invest in this AI because it's beneficial at the end of the day. However, that is a process which is a slow-moving process in my opinion.
Yeah, I think cross-training from both the sides are required for the staff as well as for the guest to move it ahead in India. Whatsoever and however we invest in capex, it's not going to use that much or effectively it's not going to give us that kind of result unless and until we know the repercussions from the other side, how the end customer is going to use that, what kind of benefits they are going to provide me. Is that going to eliminate my manpower totally, or is going to be an extra manpower to supervise that machine so that it runs perfectly. So time to introspect and understand the benefit and the other side of the story, and then probably we can move ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, so I would like to conclude by saying that we all have to be open to automation and AIs, and but keeping the focus in mind that it enhances the guest experience with that human factor being not compromised. Thank you.
Okay, Richard Branson, the Virgin Atlantic founder, had said the best way to grow any organization's revenue to 10x is training, training and training. That is how you get up to that mark. By harnessing the artificial intelligence, by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, we are certainly we are going to see enhanced customer experience, streamlined operations, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're actually coming to a question and answer session. One or two questions we can take in from the audience. But before that, I want to conclude. Just imagine and take it back home for yourself, especially if you are a manufacturer of any equipments for the hotel. First of all, try and make a master list of all the gadgets and machines and equipments that are being used in a hotel. Make a master list. And then you identify, distinguish as to what all things can be made automatic, replace manual labor. And then the third thing that you have to do is to ensure that there's an industry connect. See, between the hotels and the Institute of Hotel Management, which are in thousands in India today. All the, everyone who's joining a hotel today are going through a college, hotel management institutes. There's an industry connect. These people go to the hotel institutes, they come to the, all the students come to the hotels for training. There is the industry connect, and they want this to be written in the media also, between the colleges and the ancillary industry, kitchen equipments, all this industry. All of you should actually start showing audio visuals about the new equipments. Go to these colleges and take sessions for them, because they are the ones who are actually would learn it there. That is an environment for learning, not the hotel. So if they know about these smart machines in advance, before they come to the hotel, it will never be a surprise for them. So you can go to Skills Institute. Today for cooks and waiters and all that, there are also skills centers all over the country. So this is where all of you have to go. I just want to conclude by saying that it's been such a pleasure. I have, the reason why I'm doing this over and over again here is that I feel so energetic and rejuvenated. I feel young and probably can give a run for their money, being a competitor to them as a general manager. So it's been a fascinating experience talking to all of you. Wish you all the best, and I think if you thought that everything that they talked about was very interesting, please give them a big hand. Thank you. Any questions or answers?
One question. Hi, my name is Ali. We are from Cubic India Solutions. We are into fan coil units business, air conditioning. We sell by a brand name called Mydia. So this is a general question. The question is, we are talking about AI, automation, energy efficiency, productivity, but we are into this business from last 7 years. But the challenge that we face in hospitality especially is when we go with energy efficient product, okay? Energy efficiency comes with a cost, okay? But when we go with that product with a cost, we most of the time we have to fight to get our product into that industry or into that particular organization. So I just want to know, okay, when will be upgrading ourselves, upgrading our thoughts, so that we can adapt the technology, so which that technology can take us ahead.
I can take this up. So two suggestions I would give. Number one, every hotel is moving towards energy efficiency, and I understand your challenge which comes out there. So my suggestion to you is go and target the ownership companies as well as the multinational companies or the hotel companies at the stage when the hotel is getting built out, because that is when they can actually invest in it, listen to you more carefully, and if you give them a long-term vision of 5, 10, 15 years that how much money they're going to save, then that investment can happen very, very easily. That's one. Number two, majority of the companies today are moving towards energy efficiency out there, and they have to get a green certification or a green audit or an energy audit to get things done out there. However, depending on the ownership, depending on how old the hotel is it viable to put that cost out there? And that is what sometimes hoteliers do make penny wise, pound foolish questions.
Thank you. Just to add to what Vishal said, remember one thing, whenever you want to sell something new, innovative technology, there's always be resistance. Remember that. Because human being is such, like if I'm a decision maker, I don't want to take a risk. What if it fails, right? I'm running a live organization, my job is at stake. So therefore, what you have to do is the proof of the pudding concept. So you have to obviously run it, make sure there's branding. Second thing is payback period. There is something called payback. If there is an X delta improvement, what is it that I'm going to get out of that? The value addition plus the payback. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Any question?
Yeah, so I have a question. So you folks spoke about gathering data and gathering intel based on that and enhancing guest experience. So there are two sides to it, right? You capture data, you have a data capture funnel, wherein data privacy and security comes in. Now DPDP has come out, GDPR follows every European tourist to India, right? How, in your experience, how frequent or how comfortable have you seen guests actually share phone numbers so that you could replicate an experience like, hey, you know what, you like 4 items, 4 preferences in June, you're traveling again in December and I can surprise you with the same. That would be delight. And how do you deal with that?
Okay, to answer this, I think the majority of the guests, 80% of the guests who are there, they give their phone number, they share their phone numbers. And it is usually stored in the data, and when SMS or a WhatsApp boost is done up to promote sales. So I don't know, I cannot say that. I have not seen anybody not sharing the phone numbers.
So I have a different viewpoint. Majority of the multinational companies do not gather data. We don't take, privacy is very important to us. So we do not capture your data for personal use. We cannot send you mass emails. We cannot do mass SMS or mass WhatsApp. That's totally prohibited in majority of the multinational companies out there. So we have to follow whatever policies, the government policies are out there from a data perspective.
But have you seen the same kind of a turnaround?
Can we take this offline?
Sure.
Yeah. There is, just to conclude, there's a privacy law. So all the hotels have to follow the privacy law, and therefore the guests are trusting that. Go ahead.
Yes, we'll take more questions. I can take it offline with them because we have another session coming up, very interesting that is as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Mohankumar, for that very interesting and intuitive and interactive session. May I invite, we would like to give you all a token of appreciation. May I invite Mr. Satish Dange to present a token of our appreciation to Mr. Mohankumar.
Hello sir.
May I request Mr. Prateek Sahai from my team to please present another plaque.
Hello sir.
Mr. Vishal Baid.
Hello. So mobile.
Mr. Prateek to Vishal Baid. Mr. Vishal Baid. Mr. Satish for Mr. Arindam Sarkar, please. We can have those claps, please. Thank you. Mr. Datta, my team member, to give to Mr. Subhadeep Datta. So we have 2 Dattas.
Hello sir.
Another
Hello.
giving to another. Thank you. Yes, please. And Datta, you can also give to Mr. VishalGupta. Thank you very much, guys, for a very interesting discussion. Yeah. can we all have a group photograph for this? Okay, you can keep, just hold your plaques and I think borrow. So please do
Dada,
visit
Dada,
us.
एक मिनट.
Thank you.
Wait.
He is the general manager of Royal Hometel Suites, a Sarovar hotel, and a leading light in the hospitality industry in Bombay. Good to see you here. Please take your seat. Next is Mr. Datta, Subhadeep Datta. Yeah, please come along. General manager, Goldfinch Hotel, Mumbai, MRG Group. Thank you so much for joining us. And then we have Arindam Sarkar. Please come along. General manager, Fern, Mumbai. Another leading brand in Mumbai. And as you can see, they're all the younger generation of general managers who are now leading these properties. And of course, we have, last but certainly not the least, Mr. VishalGupta. He is the general manager of Novotel, Mumbai, Juhu. So we're giving the audience a little time to settle down because we had a very intensive session, just a while ago. Yeah, I can promise you it's going to be a very interesting discussion. And those who are standing, could you please sit down, please? May I? Because we have time to. We don't have much time. You always, when you follow an intensive discussion and panel discussion which is slightly over the time, then we are under pressure. All right, so